Toyota Vets. More cash.
It is good to be powered by World Sports Betting. It is good times. Lindo Pep 4. Disciples nil. CAF Champions League. Fake Guardiola is next to me. What do you make of the games?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
yeah, an interesting game. Congratulations to Orlando Pirates for making it to the next round. I think an incredible first half from them, a very dull second half. But also from a coach's perspective, I would assume that the coach was managing the game, making sure that he's preparing the other players for the Cape Town City game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's on Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday.
That was always the context as well within this game, that whatever Pirates do it as quickly as possible, score as many goals as quickly as possible so that you can rest some of your players. I agree with you that there was that in mind, but as the other guys have said in the other videos, that they didn't do it enough, because you would have expected to see Mofokeng out immediately or at the beginning of the second half, and maybe to some degree Mabasa out immediately to avoid the necessary risk. But anyways, they go home without any injuries, so they're still good for the Wednesday game.
No, so many good performances. Maybe let's start there. Give credit to Tito. Incredible performance. Very impressed by Monyane. I think he watches the channel. Improved. Very impressed by Unda. Played those diagonal balls that we're talking about last week.
That was one of the technical
talking points. A lot of diagonal balls. Played very well. Usesan as well. Chaine meshed that defense very well. Looking at the number 4, Armado. Rabat, the number 4 from the opposition team, incredible.
Now,
You know, Armando Rabat, incredible footballer. Is a number 4. I think he controlled the game.
And that's the whole point of scouting. Sorry to cut you. That we're watching this game and we're already picking up some of the players we would wish that a South African football club has seen. Jersey number 4 on the other team. They
25.
don't have money. Yeah, well, number 25 as well. They don't have money, so that's a player. There's a player for you to sign, because he's a very comfortable midfielder.
It's very important, Kulego, to always analyze the opposition. There's not one. There's 3 teams on the pitch. There's the referees, there's the opponent, and the Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be fair also not to scrutinize the team. But there's something that is very interesting that I saw from the Orlando Pirates, more especially in the first 3 games. I said to you when we were sitting and watching the game, I said, there's lack of consistency within their performance. There's a good 45 minutes, a good 15 minutes in the second half, and a very bad 30 minutes. But there's a tactical structure that they deployed this season, which is a 3-1-6 structure.
Explain.
It's a 3-1-6. So normally that system is to create overloads. That's the first principle. Those are the first details. They want increased overloads, attacking with 6 players, defending with 4. Understand? And then the second one is the fluidity in rotations. That system needs you to be fluid. And it needs rotations where players interchange position to make sure that they are unpredictable and they're fluid and they've got the right direction, creativity to be dangerous. The other one.
Is it worth that risk when you're playing against a better opposition in the Champions League? Because I understand, the language of balance in numbers, that at any given time, if you have 11 players, you would assume that 5 of your players are primarily defenders and 5 of them are primarily attackers. And you want to maintain that balance when you're going forward. You need 5.5 players whenever you're going 5.5. Like one midfielder will join and make it 6, and sometimes you just go with 5, right? But there's a time or there's an opposition that doesn't allow you to do that, because you are overcommitting yourself. If you're saying that it's a 3-1-6,
it changes. It becomes a 2-3-5. Or it becomes a 3-2-5. It changes in between the in position of the game. But mostly, if you can check the tactical structure, it's normally a 3-1 with Umbata sitting as a defensive midfielder. So it's important when you're playing against a low block, more especially in the Champions League with attacking and ball-oriented teams. Create overloads, ensure that there's rotation and fluidity. But the most important one, Kulego, why you commit 6/4, right, is because of a counter press. When you counter press, you've got more numbers in the attacking zone. So it's helpful to stop counter attacks, because you saw there's too many diagonal balls that they were playing gule position on the right side. On the right. Yeah. So it's to counter that, ensure that we win the ball as high as possible. If not that, then the fourth point, which is the most important one, that's why that role is important in that system. It's played by Rodri. Even in Spain, they take that position very serious, which is the defensive. It's the most important, a critical role, because that if, by example, which is the number 4, they move the ball very well, but they don't move the ball in dangerous areas. Maybe let's say in Kulego, in that 6, they try and bypass that 6 with a through ball. The responsibility of the defensive midfielder is to ensure that he closes or he covers up the spaces that were open. So he plays a crucial role. It becomes a 4 of V3 at the back. So he plays a crucial role.
Let me ask you now a direct question. Beyond the jargon of numbers and tactics, But speaking about the number 6 role, the defensive midfielder role, do you genuinely think Orlando Pirates, I know it's the beginning of the season, so you give them leeway to find solutions in there. Because with Sundowns, we know who's the number 6, and we know that they have a solid, experienced number 6 who plays at the African Cup of Nations, star player, also plays in the CAF Champions League, star player for Sundowns. Do you genuinely think that Orlando Pirates have find that solution? Because Umbata, you can play him there. I think he will have his limitations. He will make his own mistakes. Tactically, he will not know when and where to be there and when to venture forward. Then you think of the alternative, Maketlen. And is he really a solution defensively, although he's comfortable on the ball as well? Do you think Orlando Pirates still has to answer that question, what number 6? Of course, Tim is actually almost a natural player there. He's a natural 6 there. He played that at Marumo Gallants with Ndlondo just next to him, Nongema just next to him, and he played it very well at Marumo Gallants. I'm not sure if he's done the same at Pirates, but he's a fan favorite. So do you think that in the first place, is that a question for Pirates to answer on number 6? Because you're going to play this opposition. This opposition is an opposition that belongs somewhere in the hierarchy. It's somewhere. Then there's going to be opposition that's here. That is equals to Orlando Pirates or better than Orlando Pirates. And that's going to be the day the question needs to be answered. I think already even with SuperSport kind of asked that question, but not sufficiently.
I think their best number 6 for me in the squad that they have currently is Uketleni Makaula. I think he's the right one to play in that position. I always say Nkulego.
Does it answer the defensive question?
Yes, it does. I think his positional play is incredible. Uketleni Makaula. I think they're using him wrong, more especially this season. I felt that when he came into the team last season, Orlando Pirates, he's the one that helped them go consolidation phase because he's got good positional play, good awareness as well. But for me, I don't see him when Pirates is in position of the ball or out of position, and that's how I want to see my number 6. Because if all the time when the team has the ball and I always see the number 6, when I watch the game and I always see him, that means the ball is always played in a high pressure zone. That means there are going to be mistakes. For me, I don't see him every time when he plays in that consolidation phase. Umbata, for me, I felt that that's not his strong position for me, the 6th position. He's more of a progressive midfielder. Progressive meaning he's the one that progresses the game. If there's space and the game is open, he's the one that can drive with the ball, jump onto the next line, and then produce a final pass. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But for me personally, there's a succession plan. They go Orlando Pirates. There's a player by Bizo Rasabocha. He's an incredible number 6.
Rasabocha from SuperSport.
He's also another number 6 that I feel they still have a Paloni as well. So they do have depth. They do have younger boys that can fill in those positions. But looking at the CAF Champions League, I think it's going to be difficult for anyone anyway. But I feel when looking at that squad, I think they've got the right depth. They've got the right quality. As it to win the Champions League, no.
Yeah, obviously not.
But to control and to beat teams that need to be beaten, you know what I mean? But for me, that role, with more especially with how they want to play, it's very crucial because that player immediately, because I questioned Umabasa in terms of the counter press. For me, it's always a -1 when he's up top. Uma Khopa helps them there, even though he played very, very well, Umabasa. And I'm starting to change my mind with him because I can see he's got a very good first touch. He's got a very good back pass. He's very good
with holding up.
Hold up. He's good with his ball towards goal. And he's a finisher as well. One of the things that I'll give him credit for that most South African strikers don't have is unbelievable technique. He can finish.
He's always had it.
He can finish, which is another thing. Umabasa, if Umakhopa magangavela 1v1 with the goalkeeper, you don't trust he's going to finish.
It's a 50-50.
It's a 50-50. With him, I feel that I'm getting this confidence day in, game out that he will finish.
Yeah, there's another point that we mentioned in previous videos, especially you brought it up, and I love that point. Attacking midfielders who can score from outside the goal, from outside the box. Attacking midfielders who can score from outside the box. And we can go in this country a whole season without seeing that. Abo Frank Lampard, Abo Scholes, even Hlompo Kekana actually was a specialist in that. Nalendwana Leo Mukwena is a specialist in that. Goals from outside the box, attacking midfielders. We saw that today and all of us were jumping up when we saw Umaswanganyi do that. And it was unbelievable. Yes, the opposition is the opposition, but still we have to see our attacking midfielders in this country do that. We need Tembazone to do that. Although Tembazone is intricate, he can play 1-2, he will still score you a goal. But we need our attacking midfielders to test the goalkeepers.
Nkulego, positive criticism is part of support. And for me, I'm saying credit to Tito because I've been very critical. He knows. I said that our league needs players, attacking midfielders, to take shots outside the box. And for me, I'm grateful for the players that listen to the channel and players that take a positive criticism. Because we said, no one cares about the 100% pass completion. Can we start taking shots outside the box? When last did we see a goal where Winger receive a ball, like cut in and kill? Tito does that. Good D-line, just away from it, D-line, believes in himself, takes the ball, good first touch, Umbega into space to pick his spot, punishes the goalkeeper. Incredible. We need more goals than that. Not just only outside the box finish, but during our dead ball situations, our free kick. Saleng got one incredible free kick, but needs to be on target. We need to start scoring those. We need to be dangerous into those areas, because this thing of always playing football away from the goals, away from a goal mouth, away from the box, expect to score across all the time. It's not improving our league. It's not improving our midfielders. That's why our midfielders, most of them, don't get the chance.
We have an attacking midfielder in the building. So, Ukon, so is it left?
No, he's around.
Mr. So, I need you for a couple of seconds. Sorry. I need to ask you something. You've scored so many goals for Orlando Pirates, over 60 goals in the history of Orlando Pirates. We're now discussing attacking midfielders and their ability to score from outside the box. I don't remember seeing you scoring from outside the box. Do you remember scoring from outside the box?
Yeah, I did against the Chiefs. Oh, guys, why are you laughing? Against Chiefs, I did. Excellent Alaza, why you give me a chest, and then outside the box, then they took a shot.
No, same goal that he scored when the goal that Saleng scored in the derby with Umabasa. It was similar to that. I remember that goal. Yeah.
No, it's good to see midfielders, and that's one thing that I always say. Why are we relying more on the strikers when we've got midfielders? And midfielders, they've got a better view than the striker, where they can play a pass, get to the space, and then take a shot.
So you don't have, you don't have a fear from 20 yards out, someone is going to shout at me. Do you not think that that's a contributing factor? The reason why our attacking midfielders are not scoring from outside the box is because they're going to ask him, why are you taking a shot from 35 yards or from 30 yards?
I think, Mr. Kyo, they've got a wrong mentality. The football is a game of mistakes. So if you don't apply yourself there, as a coach, for me to help you to be a better player, I must see you in the field of play. Make those mistakes, take those chances, so that I can understand now and say, it means the training. If I can do a matrix lava, so he will manage to take those shots. Then you are giving me something also as a coach, because I cannot say, Mufukeng, come and play behind the strikers and then take a shot. It's impossible. Then I must put you in the field of play. Do whatever that you need to do, so that as a coach I can see to and plan for the next game to say, okay, it means if I can make him do these drills, it means he can take these shots, and then it's going to help us as a team. Then I'll put it.
No, there's two profiles in that position. It's either it's the one, I think in the PSL currently, I think for Orlando Pirates, he was very instrumental, Lufigo, Linda Mtambo. I think there's two profiles. There's two profiles. It's either there's the one who joins late in the box or makes runs in behind the defense or joins in the box to finish, and then there's ones who are very critical in the D-line, where they can take shots and about Daves and stuff. So there's two profiles in the. So that's why, coach, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the one who joins in the box, or do you prefer the one who haki D-line and then finish outside the box?
No, whichever one, because at the end of the day, remember that the action of the game, it also leads you to say, now take a shot. Because there was a moment where Saleng, he had a good trapping inside the box. Instead of him act in those seconds to put the ball in the net, what he did was, Makai now he needs another time to get a better view and then take it. So I'm saying that the action demands whatever that is there, and it's up to the player to say, okay, in this action, now it says, let me take a shot. Then you take a shot. But if it says, look at the goal, Mufukeng, instead of him penning outside the box, he didn't do that. He played 1-2 with Umaswanga and got a goal.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's wrap it up then with Orlando Pirates. What do you use? Of course, clearly, I'm sure Pirates fans are going to disagree with us. And we don't have to share the same idea as well. Like, the fact that we share the same idea is a coincidence. I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. Well, the way that I see it is that you build yourself up with Champions League. The same that we've seen with the Sundowns, which there was a point under Opitso where, of course, they won it in 2016, but then there was a point where there were maybe 2017 quarterfinal, 2018 quarterfinal, and then 2019 semi-final, or even 2019 was a quarterfinal. But then there was a stretch where then it started semi-final. right? So my understanding of this competition, and even with Arsenal, they have a similar situation where you were number 2 the year before, you were number 2 last year. Maybe this year you can then graduate to
jump,
number 1, right? So I'm looking at it from a progressive standpoint. So I get why you would say that they wouldn't win this time around. What do you base that on, and how far do you think they could take it then?
I think they will make the is it quarterfinals, last 16? I think they will
it's
make it in
quarterfinal. There's no last
quarterfinals, not the last 16. I think they'll make it into the quarterfinals, to be honest.
That means they have to navigate the group and be number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, for me, lack of international experience, lack of international players as well. Some of the players, they're not playing enough in their national teams. That's another question for me. For me, they play in patches. That's another thing. In the 3 games, I don't want to be too harsh, but in the 3 games that they've played, like I said, in those games, whether against the SuperSport, whether the first game they played against Disciples, there's a 30 minutes there where you realize that there's lack of consistency, there's lack of fluidity.
Today, the second half.
Yeah, I spoke about 4 things, Nkuleko. I spoke about fluidity in the interchanging of positions. That was impressive for me. I'm impressed about their counter press. Big clubs are very aggressive in their counter press. They really need to improve their counter press. And as well, they need a very solid number 6. I'm not saying Umbata is not solid. Maybe they need to bring, at the moment, their best number 6, like I said, Uketleni Makaul. But for me, I look at their squad, I look at their tactical approach. They are good to watch, but very vulnerable at the back as well. So that makes them... when I watch them, when they play against serious teams, they're going to struggle.
They're a goal waiting to happen most of the time. Especially if you don't have Ndaa there, they are definitely a goal waiting to happen.
You know, I think there's a reason why also they brought in Dino van Rooyen, because I think with Dino van Rooyen, the quality that he's going to give them, Kulego, is the one that Umdao gives the Sundowns, which is his best quality is not to be a box-to-box fullback. His best quality is more of an inverted right back, where he's going to give them that tactical structure to deal with transition.
I think what Pep Guardiola does with Kyle Walker and something similar like that, where we're relying largely on your pace, that when we are out of shape, you are going to catch up with someone. And Umudao, Jesus Christ, I've never seen something like that. That even when Sundowns are out of shape, no one is going to outrun Umudao.
He's got a crazy recovery run.
Oh my
He's
word,
got a sick recovery.
So that's
run.
what they're thinking with Van Rooyen as well.
There was a thinking to say they need a player who's very smart in terms of winning balls, interceptions, but very good in terms of dealing with counter attacks and transitions.
All right, there you go. That's thank you very much, Lindo. That's it. We hope you enjoyed the video. That's Orlando Pirates. Well done. Of course, there's nothing much to be said really about these preliminary rounds. We'll try as much as we can, of course, to give you some different angles about the game as much as we can to the best of our abilities. But really, there will be tougher games for Sundowns, for Orlando Pirates as well. And I'm looking forward to that point. But then you have to start at this point, at the first preliminary round, and then you move on. So well done to Orlando Pirates, graduated to the next round. We'll see how difficult it will be for them in the next round. But I still do expect that you dismiss the next team and then you get to the group stages, and that's where then we will see you being drawn against Al Ahly, perhaps, and then we'll see whether or not you are able to answer some of those technical questions that Al Ahly will ask you, or Esperance de Tunis will ask you, or any other big team on the continent will ask you. It is iDiskiTV, Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you for watching us.